required to audit 97 ballots, which were randomly selected by the Lieutenant Governor's office. The 97 ballots selected were verified using electionware software, and all the votes were visually verified and passed. Additionally, 11 voter signatures were audited separately, constituting a 1% audit, and successfully passed. All noticing and reporting required by Utah State Code was followed. And anything that we did in this election was closely monitored and approved by the Lieutenant Governor's office. So if there's any question on that. So when you're ready to make a motion, here's the instructions right here. So anybody have any questions or want to go through? Here's the results. The statistics there. I've got log books here of all of the seals and everything that we kept during log records that we kept during the election.
So there was no ballots that were postmarked late.
There were not. In fact, we had 13 come in, and all of them had gone through Las Vegas, and Tampa, and they all had dates that were before the 25th. Here's the actual ballots. If anybody wants to look through these, you can. And here's our extraction list of people we sent ballots to. So there were this many that came back, you know, that we had to inactivate because the return mail. That many came back. We got a hold of everybody that had those federal only. Anything that came in, we were able to get a hold of the voter.
Was we able to account for all those ballots?
Well, no, not all of them. We about 50% of them, just under 50% came back. Anybody else, they chose not to vote, but we were able to find everyone that turned them in. And this one person there was one person that didn't want to redo it, and that's what this right here. The non-recipient. That's the one person that didn't want to do it.
And they contacted your office?
We contacted them. Everybody else contacted us.
All this is long, so he can't email it to us, and communication is hard, but he knows we need it.
So he'll send
So
one
he
in
sends
now?
back up. He'll
Okay,
send it.
thank you.
All right.
He says he doesn't have anything that you guys sign. That
Okay.
He does it on email, but he will send the latest one.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
I'm working on this. You can come on in. Pam helped me a ton. Helped us get the election held together.
What's the UCCABA?
Yokava, that stands for, I don't know what it stands for, but it's the Overseas and Military.
Ballots?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had 3.
Mm.
And the Sanos and somebody with the last name Cook, yeah. Which that's pretty slick. You just email it to them. They've got it enhanced. The state contracts with a group that does secure ballot by email. And you can also, anybody that's disabled or has disability, any kind of special needs or would like to do that can get signed up for that.
Interesting. Any more questions for Anneliesa?
And make a motion that we certify the canvass for the election, primary election.
Okay.
June 25th, 2024.
With John exclude, I would second it. opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Um,
Just need those minutes set. And sign that. Oh, I mean, right here. Good. I can sign that.
You already passed that down.
Other signature line?
Yeah.
That one?
You want him to sign?
So he recused himself, we could redo that.
Yeah, whatever you want, we can just strike it.
We'll strike it.
Wasn't there a second set of forms, with all the numbers? This goes with that, and then this goes with,
This, oh, for ours, for the lieutenant governors. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Pat.
yeah.
Alright, next on the agenda, Cloyd, Cornia. Select health insurance, you wanna come up and
Yeah. Just have a little handout for each of you.
state your name and what you're
Okay.
representing for the record?
My name is,
You can come over here by this, by this mic, that one's not on.
Okay. I haven't been to a commission meeting in 40 years. My name is Cloyd Cornia, and I'm here to talk about insurance, specifically Select Health. And just run through this little handout that I gave to you. I'd like to be given the opportunity to become the county's agent for Select Health products. Here is what I bring to the table. I've been licensed insurance agent in Utah since 1980, so I have 44 years of experience. Lifelong resident of Ridge County. I'm an agent for Select Health. I'm also an agent for Aflac and agent for Manhattan Life. And products would include cancer, accident, life, and other products. These secondary products are no cost to the county, but it is borne by the employee if purchased. The only obligation the county would have in that is to deduct the premiums from the employee paychecks and forward premiums. I'm licensed in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming. I have quality customer service. I'd be available to answer questions on the telephone or in person, available to assist with claims, available for new hire signups, and willing to meet with employees as a group or individually.
Okay.
So, what you're asking is to be the county's agent of Select Health then?
Correct.
To do that, Cloyd, what would we need to do?
So there's just some paperwork that we would need to do. It's very simple, probably a couple of pages. I didn't bring it today because I wanted to visit with you first, and I also, under contractual obligations, I need to contact Hoffman Insurance Agency as well, so.
Did you work for them before or work with them? Have you worked with Hoffman?
No, I've known Nan though since I was a kid,
Okay.
so he's a good guy and,
Yeah.
you know, does a good job with what he does. And known his dad, you know, while he was alive, used to buy my dad's cows in the fall each year, so.
So this, what Cloyd wants is you'd replace Dan
Yes,
in what Dan does.
yep.
Okay.
So, anytime we do anything like this, we ask for references. Cloyd, can you give us some references of, groups or, businesses or anything that, so that we have some references as you?
They get more and more expensive. Other insurance agencies continue to bring in more hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
Select Health has always been nice because it encompasses
Yeah.
what we are, but like the county or the schools on PHP. So that'd be my biggest concern, but I'd also be fine giving business to somebody that's in the county. But I don't have as much history with what we've done, so
Mhm.
keeping
Yeah.
that in mind.
Yeah. Yep.
How long have you been an agent for Select Health?
About a year.
About a year, huh?
Yep.
Well, we're pretty much locked into Hoffman Insurance until our budget season, which will be in November, in which that's when we would, when we have them give us a proposal, and we've had other insurance agents give us a proposal as well in this last year. And it would include dental, and it would include vision, and it would include life insurance. All three of those. That's the the benefits that we provide through the county. There is, I don't know, and maybe you're the agent for them. I know there's, I don't know how many, a few employees have Aflac.
Just
one.
Just one now. I know at one time we had 45, but we're just down to one now. Okay. And they have their, and I don't know who their agent is now, but they come on usually on an annual basis and meet with any of the employees that are interested in having an Aflac policy. So Manhattan Life is, you're an agent for them.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep. And they provide a lot of exactly what Aflac does, usually at a little bit better rate.
I didn't realize you've been an agent for 40 years, Cloyd. That's a long time.
It is a long time.
We're getting older.
That's an understatement. I was just sitting here, I was looking at it like we were all kids at one time, so we knew each other since kids and our parents, and I've known you since you were a kid, you know.
Mhm.
It's just, time flies by.
That's always fun when you're go meet with people and they say, "I changed your butt when you were a kid." Thanks for telling me that.
Well, everybody that did mine and Bill's probably is dead by now, so.
Yeah. Seems to. Yeah.
I don't think we would be against giving business to somebody in the county. My question is there a benefit for us, a financial benefit for your company to sign over what we currently have now, or?
Yes. And as far as Select Health and their contractual stuff, you don't have to wait until the new year. That can take place anytime, as far as they're concerned.
Yeah. I think we're more just shifting away from the way it's always been, which isn't a hard thing to do. It probably, not against it, but it'd probably be better to do it when we're budgeting.
And that's fine. Yep, that's fine.
Yeah. I honestly would support, whether it was you or somebody else in the county,
Yeah.
if we're gonna get the exact same product.
Sure.
Because
Sure.
as I understand, Select Health isn't gonna give us any better rates through.
Probably not, no.
Yeah.
No, it's the same rate for everybody throughout the state.
Give the
Yeah.
payments to somebody else.
Sure.
But there is the concern of where you are just into it. This is a pretty big account. I mean, it's, quite $500,000 in premiums is a lot.
Yeah.
And so what Bill said as far as maybe gather some referrals and give us some ammo to be able to say yes a
Okay.
lot easier. And I think I would
Sure.
support it.
Sure.
So I guess, I think what we'd like from you, Cloyd, is some references as well as, let's work. I mean, we're gonna be in budget in 2 months, 3 months. employees to keep track of when they have issues of who they call and contact, so, why don't we, in my mind, I think we, you know, you gear up with a proposal for us and we'll, obviously Hoffman Insurance will come with a proposal as well and we'll, you know, look those over and kinda go from there. I think that's probably what we probably need to do. You know, we're kinda committed to Hoffman, even though we could change dental select, that would mean, you know, we'd have somebody else for our
Yeah,
excuse me,
I'm fine
dental
with that.
select and those.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
it would seem,
Absolutely.
abrupt and a little bit,
Yeah.
You know, rude.
Yep.
To switch halfway, but if it's during
Yep.
the process where we're renewing anyway.
Yeah.
um,
I'm fine with that.
And we wanna have the brand where we don't leave people in the dust.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
while still supporting.
Sure, sure. I probably, at that point in time, will probably bring some proposals from other companies as well.
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
So we'll see if we can do something better than Select Health. Health insurance is expensive, like
Yeah.
very expensive. Just my policy through the state hospital, what state pays is like 18 grand a year just for me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's very expensive. Like you say, $500,000 is pretty. How many county employees do you have?
Oh, it's always
What do
changing.
we have on insurance?
On
How many
average,
full-time?
we're about 50, but maybe a little less than
Not
that
all
on
those,
insurance.
not all those are on.
Probably 20 to 30 on
I think
insurance.
we're at 32 or 35, seems to me like.
A lot are families, some aren't, but it's a
Mhm.
pretty good mix.
Yeah. So do you guys set out like what you're looking for, like a proposal, so that we know what we're bidding on, or are we just kind of on our own?
On your own.
Okay. Some.
Best you can come up with.
Okay. All right.
We do favor lower deductibles. In the past, we've eaten the cost just to
Yeah.
have people not have to pay $5 grand
Yeah.
out of pocket.
Yep.
And I think it's helped out. Like, there are some people that have some major sicknesses that
Yeah.
that's probably benefit them tens of thousands of dollars.
Yep. So what deductible are you looking at?
I think right now we have $1,000 individual
Okay.
deductible. Yeah. It's like a 2,500 or $3 grand family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. So I guess I just get with Anneliesa to get the information I need to do the bidding. Is that what we do?
Yeah, she can give you how many full-time, how many,
What their ages are.
Okay.
yeah, and also, you know, if they're single or a family or
What their blood type is.
The government will start collecting that at some
Yeah.
point. You know that.
They already know it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll tell me, well, I'll get with Annalise and then we'll know like when the budget process starts and
I would have something put together by the very first part of November.
okay.
That's when everybody, all the departments put their budgets in, and that's when we start putting numbers together.
Okay.
And we've typically had the deadline with insurance companies of December 15th. They're like, you need to sign something for coverage of next year.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Then you're on just a regular calendar year.
Which
Okay.
everybody
Yeah.
should be, but
I know.
I don't know why we don't do that.
Oh my goodness. All right, gentlemen.
Okay.
Thank
Hey,
you. Good to
thanks
visit
for
with you.
coming in, Cloyd.
Yep, yep.
Thanks, Cloyd.
I was just sitting here thinking I'd seen Bill Cox's dad, Emerson, not the same table, but yeah, how many years was he on the school board? I remember coming many times.
You,
A long time. So.
yeah.
All right, gentlemen. See ya.
Thank you.
See ya.
We calling Stephanie Nolan or?
Yes.
If she doesn't answer, it's because we're 15 minutes early.
They know, they know. Supposedly.
Do we have any paperwork on this?
Yes, in your packet.
leave a message after the beep and I'll return your call as soon as.
And I thought, Mr. Ward was gonna be here in person. He was gonna try to be here, so, we're a little early for him if we wanna skip to Kim.
Yeah, let's grab Kim.
Legal services. Legal consultant. Name's familiar. Do you know them, John?
I don't know. Yeah, it does look familiar, though.
Here's the expenditures and minutes. At your leisure.
Nobody showed up or what?
No, well, we're a little early to try to call, but
Okay, Kim Wilson, Rich County Assessor first. I have personal property exemptions. I have that many this time, so not a huge stack. So I can leave them if you want me to leave them, or you can look at them here. It doesn't bother me, whatever.
probably just well leave them.
Okay. And then I have Board of Equalization on there because we need to know dates so that when Anneliesa goes to send the disclosure notices, the valuation notices here soon, I'm guessing probably within the next couple weeks or so, we need a date to put on there for Board of Equalization. So,
Can we do it in November this year?
no. We
Yeah,
cannot.
no. Let me think about it. No.
We have to have it before the tax notices go out so that we could, if there's any corrections there on the tax notice. So you cannot have
When
it
do
in
we usually
November.
do it?
September.
September.
And it has to be after the 15th. And so usually we have it around the 21st. That Monday is usually when we have it.
About the 23rd and 24th.
Okay, what days are those?
Monday, Tuesday.
Okay, so September 23rd. So do you want me to do like I did last year with go the one day, and then if we have more than that, spill to the second?
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. So you got that so that we can put it on the, I just know we need to put it on those disclosure notices, and so
What time do you usually start?
we usually start at 10. That's what we have done in the past. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Go 10 to 4.
How much
With the
change?
break.
How much change are we going to see this year?
I don't know. All the homes went up anywhere from I think 12% to 35 in some instances. The only ones that went up 35 was if there was an error, and all I can figure is a typing error or something like that, or they didn't get revalued the year before. Because I did find a few of those, but most of them were 12, 15, 20%, somewhere right in there. Land went up a little bit. Nothing super drastic that I can remember right off the top of my head. Not like we had seen in the past. So condos went down 5%, just what we were seeing in the market for the most part there.
Condos have?
Mm-hmm. And then there was a few of the townhomes that went down when I looked at them just as a whole. Some of those newer townhomes, they went down a little bit from what they had been to make sure they were based on what they were selling for market.
Because they're getting so many, or why?
I think that's part of it. They're getting so many,
Mm.
and some of them aren't real beautiful, and it's like they're just the same. You go all the way down the street and they all look the same, and that's kind of something new to Bear Lake that we haven't seen in the past. Usually that's everything's, a lot of them are more unique, and we have a few condos here and a few condos there, but now we're getting a lot of townhomes that are being built that, and I don't know, I think there's still some that are, there were supposed to be a whole bunch more built there, behind the Mike's Market, but last time I was over there, they hadn't started those, but I went over there yesterday, but I didn't go back up in there. It's
Those
so,
across from the Chevron are townhomes, aren't they?
and those weren't, well, at least from just what I saw preliminarily, those weren't gonna be very beautiful either. But I don't know. They're still building, but I'm not sure what, at what point they saturate the market with townhomes and, short-term rentals. Cause there's still a lot of short-term rentals, but I think I'm hoping they start to slow down a little bit, because trying to keep up with everything is just getting crazy. But anyway, so that's all I have for assessor, unless you guys have anything else for me.
Any questions for Kim?
Okay, so then Rich County Ambulance, Kim Wilson, Secretary for Rich County Ambulance. We have had problems with the ambulance credit cards, and I know Mike's been in. I talked to Anneliesa. We had the credit cards before, and they had somebody's name on them, individual name, and they worked fine. We had a $1,000 credit limit, and there was one for each ambulance. So if they needed supplies for the ambulance, if there were small supplies, sometimes vet wrap, things like that they need, so they'd just pick it up with a credit card. Or if they stopped and got a drink or some snacks or dinner or something, they could use that credit card, because they don't get, we're paying them $50 if a run if they transport. If they don't transport, they don't get anything for running. These credit cards haven't worked since we've changed it, and I know we went with getting individual names off of the credit cards, because I know Eugene had that experience where it was dinging her credit, and nobody really wants that. And so they don't even want that option. And if we switch people, like we had Chris's name on the one, well, then she retired from doing ambulance stuff, and her name was still on there for quite a while. So that's not good either. So right now, I think I don't believe we have any names on the credit cards, any personal names. But when Mike goes to use it quite often, and Garden City's the one that's complaining the most, because they're the ones that use it the most. They're gone a lot. The credit card isn't working, or hasn't worked, and they told him, number one, it was over the limit. So I don't know what kind of a limit are on these. I've talked to Anneliesa, and she told me that to come to you guys, basically, because you guys weren't in charge of the credit cards. So,
What's the limit?
I can go check that real quick.
because like I said, they were $1,000 a piece.
I think that's probably what they still are. Let me double check.
But we're not,
$1,000.
and so when they told him it was over the limit, that's a problem in my mind. We thought
I told her
she said, Anneliesa told me that it was on an auto pay, which I don't know how that all works when you don't even know the amount. So that shouldn't be a problem. So I don't know, we didn't have the problem in the past, but they're having to pay with their own money and then get reimbursed back, which is just a messier process. And the fact that Mike just keeps bringing up, they used to work just fine. They're just not working right now. And he was told it was over the limit. They declined. Ours is declined. Dale Stacy has paid for stuff out of his pocket and gotten reimbursed. It's just a messier process than just paying with a credit card.
I assumed it was because there wasn't a name on it. I told her to put my name on them, but
Well, and I don't know what's going on, because they should be working, and they're not. And when I talked to Dale Stacy about it, the sheriff, he said that the credit cards sometimes aren't working for the his sheriff's stuff either. So I don't know what's going on with these credit cards, but they were working just fine, and now they're not working at all. And they can't be over the damn limit unless it's a $20 limit, because we don't spend that much on them. And if they're paid every month, like Anneliesa said, they're on the auto pay thing or something, to where they should be paid on time. So
purchase limit on them. Not a.
No, not that I'm aware of. Like a one-time
Like a
purchase
daily,
limit?
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. I could look into it.
You
but-
better look into that and see if that's the problem.
But
That
I
might
mean,
be
you're
it.
only spending what, like
I
30.
mean, not even $50. If they go to eat, it might
Well,
be $50.
But it just, it all depends. I mean, you know, you can set them up so, I mean, on any credit card, particularly if it doesn't have a name on it and your kid uses it, you can set it up so it's a maximum of $10.
Yeah,
Yeah, we just need to find out what's going on because it's just.
And if you didn't, you didn't check a box and it happened to be $10,
That might
That
be
could do it.
that might be the issue. if
Yeah,
it's-
I
if
just
it's
don't know.
overlooked.
They're just very. Mike is very, very frustrated, and I get his frustration because they used to work just fine. We used to not have any problem with it, and then I think he was also told, or somebody was told, maybe it was Dale. I don't know. One of them was told that it was a high risk credit card. Well, we haven't had a problem. We haven't said somebody's charging inappropriate
the high
things
risk
on
is
it.
because they're in the name.
I don't
attached to it.
know. All I know is it just is ridiculous to be. I mean, it should be $1,000. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that much, and we haven't. You know, we watch it. We collect receipts. We give them to these guys. I mean, we haven't had a problem with it. Shouldn't be a high risk at all. We haven't had no problem with those. You know, and we watch them pretty close. I mean, if there was, they're just $20 or $30, $50 maybe at the most they
Yeah.
would spend on a drink and a damn candy bar or something.
And you don't wanna have the anxiety of like, this is not gonna work.
Well, and it looks terrible when
Yeah.
you go and it's the Rich County card and it says declined. I mean, that looks terrible. So, like we're not paying our bills or something. It just makes you look like an idiot, and it's like. So I don't know. And when you're on the front line, I mean, they get frustrated. And when they're not working, it shouldn't be that big a damn deal.
Yeah, we'll have
So,
to get with signs.
I want to
and
make
check
you
it out.
guys aware of it and see what's going on. And Anneliesa said it was you guys, not her. That's why I'm here. And I forgot to text Dale, or to text him the time, Dale and Mike, that I was on here for, because I was going to have them come and tell you what they've experienced, because they usually have done it more than me. Like when we get out of the ambulance, Dale usually grabs a credit card if we're together, and
Well,
I mean,
the
one
main,
person
the main
just gets
reason, sorry to butt in, but the main reason I wanted her to talk to you guys is because there's an assumption that I'm not paying the bill, or that I'm doing something wrong with the card. John uses his card, Sim uses his card, I use my card. Nobody's had a problem except for Dale and the ambulance.
And Mike, Dale, it's not just Dale's, our ambulance card in our ambulance in 2 Echo 500, it's in 2 Echo 502 also. So it's not like it's just one card. And Dale said he's had issues with the sheriff's office cards as
So,
well.
I have had issues with mine on smaller purchases, not bigger ones.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
so we
I
can
don't
spend
know.
$1,000, but we can't spend 20?
Yeah,
I mean, that doesn't make sense at all.
it's weird. We need to look into it.
So the other thing is, like, if the credit card company said that oftentimes it's problems with the merchants. Like and the thing is this is the same type of credit card that a lot of companies use. I've used it with Hose and Rubber. It's the same type of thing. So if the moment somebody has a problem with their card, there's an 800 number you can call. They have instant customer service, help. So if anybody does run into that, we have help. But the problem is the ambulance cards are used when we're not working. So then we can't make a call. I don't hear about it till later. Then I call the company, they look at it, they say, I don't see anything wrong with this. I don't know why you would have had a problem unless the merchant didn't have updates on their end. And she says there's certain types of gas stations that have notorious issues.
But we've used these at the same dang places all along. Aggie Station. How many times you stop at Aggie Station? It's not like we're using new merchants. We stop at the Loaf and Jug up there in Evanston. That's where we usually fill up with fuel, and we usually run in there and grab something to, so it's not like we're using new merchants or we're going to different places. It's the same
other
ones.
issue I have is because credit cards, the receipts come in when, once every couple months, once every 2 or 3 months.
Well, it's when I
They
can
can-
remember to get them out of the
can card.
And
ambulances.
so I'll
Oh,
get
that's
like a
fine.
large stack,
I
and
just
that
seen
just
there's a
doesn't
number-
work
there
with
is a
the
number
system
on the
we're
back.
working on. Like I need immediate
The county
feedback
card
to
should
get
just
those things
work.
uploaded.
Huh?
So
The county
the
card should
system
work.
doesn't work
Yeah,
for me
it's
either.
$1.
So.
Well, like I said, that's,
Is
the
that one that
system
has a
came
logo on
from
it, or is it
you.
your no, that's your
I
personal.
mean, you're doing it, you're the resource person, but you said it's not you, it's the commissioners.
No, what I said was I don't wanna have personnel issues, that the commissioners have jurisdiction over that. Because I feel like it's a personnel issue, not a credit card issue.
What do you mean personality?
Like the problem is that I feel attacked by not paying the bill when the bill is on auto pay, and it just feels very personal. And so I
Okay,
don't wanna be in the middle of it.
when I talked to you about this with Mike's deal, I was relaying a message that he had sent to me. The credit card is not working again.
And
I
Mike
didn't
comes
attack
in,
you, I
and Mike-
didn't do anything to you, I
Maybe
said,
I
don't
can
kill the
leave. I can
messenger.
keep recording it and I can leave, but I don't wanna get into an
But
argument.
what I'm saying is,
So-
you were the ones that told me to come talk to the commissioners.
Absolutely, because it's a personnel thing, and I need to just leave. I will keep the thing recording though.
So I think, what we're
I
trying-
didn't, all I said was, it's not working again, I
Yeah.
didn't attack her, I said, don't kill the
It's
messenger.
it's a valid concern, cause I've had my card on little things not work, and so I've bought them and usually when I do that, I just don't get reimbursed, cause it takes forever. But we can check some stuff and make sure things are getting paid, and I think there may be multiple issues. Like I said, it's worked on bigger things where one day it didn't work on $25, and then I had to go buy some cable for the dump, and it did work on, $1,500, and so I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, I don't know, all I'm just is telling you there's a problem with them. This is what happens, we can't have a conversation, because if I get ticked, then she leaves, we can't have a conversation. I have never attacked her personally, I don't jump on her and beat the hell out of her, nothing like that. I'm
Well,
just trying to say, we're frustrated because they're not working. And every time, what I get is, I'm the secretary, so I get all the feedback from the people using the credit cards. And I'm just saying, they're not working. And the last time I just said, Mike texted me, I'm giving you a heads up, that the credit cards aren't working again. And it's just been a constant problem. And yes, we can get reimbursed after we turn in the receipts. We can take pictures of the receipts, they can email them to them. I don't know what to do. It's just, it seems like it's getting to be a bigger hassle for our people. They don't get, they're not gonna spend hours to make a phone call to get the credit card company to try to figure out what's going on when they're standing there ready to head back to the county.
Yeah, and they're already volunteers.
They're
It needs to be
volunteers.
easier.
You see what I'm saying? It used to be, we had no problem before. Not one issue. And if there was, it was taken care of that quick and there was no problems. It didn't become a personnel issue where I have to bring it to you guys. She said she's not over the credit cards. That's you guys. So that's why I'm here. I've tried. I don't know what else to do.
We'll have to,
She's the human resource person. She's in charge of the credit cards. She's the one that talks to the credit card company. I don't know anything about it. I am not the one that's even using the damn credit cards in the ambulance. I'm just getting the messages and I'm telling her. And I
Yeah.
said, he's gonna be probably calling you because they're not working again. And he, to the point where he's not getting anywhere there, so he just keeps coming to me. And apparently now I'm not getting anywhere there, so now I have to come to you guys. Because I've been banned to the commission because we can't even have a conversation.
Yeah.
It's not my damn job to deal with the credit cards. That is hers. That is part of her job. And so,
we'll have to get them.
and I haven't been that mean.
Yeah. Well, we hear you. 100% hear you. I've experienced it where I've got a decline, and it's,
Like I said, you know my frustration. You know where we're at. So, all I can do is bring it to you guys and then see what goes on. Because, and I told her, I said, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what Mike texted me on a Sunday afternoon.
She's also had an altercation with Mike as well, one-on-one,
Yeah,
in which he come in and run his mouth.
but it's the same thing. They're
But
frustrated.
you know what?
Bill, we're
Okay,
not
so we're
getting anything
frustrated.
back.
But the bottom line is, she's looked into it and she can't solve the problem because we don't know what the problem is. We don't know whether it's the limit, we don't know whether it's the named, we don't know whether it's a small purchase.
Is
and
that
so
not
those
her
are-
job to find that out?
Well, she's tried, she's called Zion Bank. and I was sitting there when she had Zions Bank on the phone, and they said, there is no problem with your cards. Zero problem.
Obviously there is.
It's not, there's not a delinquent bill. The decline, we don't even show any decline, so that decline come from the merchant. Now, whether it was too small, because the Zions Bank showed no decline. The bank did not decline it. It was the merchant that declined it.
Well, I don't know what's happening because we have not had the problem in the past.
Well, some
is what I'm
merchants
trying
set
to
it
say.
up so that they will not take a credit card unless there's a name assigned to the credit card for fraud.
That's what I wondered.
So when they
I
swipe
don't
it, there's
know
no
that.
name filled in on their machine.
Right, and
But can
You
we
know.
not have like a Rich County card? Isn't there company cards?
Well, that's what they are. I just don't know. There needs to be.
When-
Because that's what I
person's name.
assumed that they
when we
would.
took a name off, see before, Chris Hodges' name was always on
Well,
the
there were
card.
Kathy Hislop, Chris Hodges, and Dale Stacy.
Well,
Were the names, all three names, there was one for each
But-
credit card.
right, but they had a name on them,
Yes,
and that name was associated to the county.
yes.
So nobody wanted names on them anymore, so
Well,
we took the
because
names
Lugene
off.
had her name on the county credit card.
Never happened.
Yes, it did.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did.
No, it did
Yes,
not.
it did.
Zions Bank looked into her credit card, and there was absolutely nothing.
That was a personal card for
That was-
Eugene.
That was her own personal card.
Because what she says is it was dinging
The
her
county
credit with
card
the county
had
card.
no effect on her credit rating
And then that
whatsoever.
made everybody a little bit nervous
It
if
is
we
not
were gonna
even
get
tied.
dinged.
It is not even tied. It's only tied to her as as an official of the county. It ties nothing to her personal accounting or personal finances.
Cause if you talk to her,
Well,
then it did her credit. And
She-
that's what everybody
So
was
that's what got us to
concerned.
where we are now. So she had her own
Exactly.
personal
Right.
card, that payments needed to be made on, dinged her credit, so then we switched over to our commercial cards. And now we just need to figure out what the problem is with them,
Okay.
you know?
Well, and like I
And I
said,
think we got some good hints.
and this last time when I talked to Anneliesa, I didn't say anything about the bills being paid late or anything like that. But she just sat right in here in staff meeting this morning and said because of elections, they're behind on bills. So tell me where my frustrations are, and you'll defend her to the death.
well,
But we've
that's
had
why it's on. That's
issues.
why it's on auto pay. When the credit card comes in, it automatically has a date that it's due. It is paid directly, taken right out of the account and paid. So
Okay.
there is absolutely no question about it being
And I
paid on
never
time.
even said anything to her about that. I
Well-
didn't say. But earlier on, it was that.
The
And
first
then they
time-
said the same thing right here.
The first time, Mike Wahlberg jumped all over and said, you're late paying the bill,
That's
and
between
because
her
it's
and Wahlberg.
delinquent. Well,
And I didn't
and she
say
showed him
that.
that it wasn't delinquent. He goes, well, why is it being declined? She says, I have no idea why it's being declined.
And isn't her job to find that out? And
Zions
if they
Bank
keep
doesn't,
saying no,
Zions Bank says, we are not declining it. What do you want her to do? You want her to call Loaf and Jug and say, why is the card being
well,
declined?
I don't know, but what do you want us to do?
Well, all I'm saying is we're gonna have to figure out whether it's the name, whether there's a minimum, or those, you know,
Okay, and well, my question right back to you is who's gonna find that out?
she is.
Okay,
Okay,
that's what we need to happen.
okay.
With our help, we're gonna help her. And then
Well, however it needs to happen,
we'll report back to everybody.
like I said, I'm getting the stuff from the people running on the ambulance, and I'm surprised you haven't heard or been on there where it's happened. So,
So,
but
here's the
I'm
other thing
hearing
I'm
it
gonna ask
back.
for you. As the secretary, those receipts need to come in every month, every week, or every run, or wherever, however the best way to do it is.
I've been trying to do them every month. Once I
Okay.
go, we have an ambulance or an EMT meeting. I've tried to gather up the receipts out of the ambulances and get them to them.
Okay, cause
But they're-
she's gotta take those receipts to the bill and correlate those so that bill has every one of those receipts in it.
Exactly, and we do that. But I'm not always at every training meeting, so they sometimes get maybe 2 months before I can get them in there if I'm not at the damn training. Because so far nobody else has jumped up and got the receipts turned
I
in.
get that, but
So
we
it's
need to
my
get the receipts
responsibility
into
to
her
get 'em
as
in there.
well.
So do you want me to have them take a picture and send it in immediately? email it to her? What?
We can ask her how the best way she wants.
Okay, because apparently she won't talk to me about it.
Well,
And I just told her what I've told you guys is Mike was complaining on a Sunday afternoon that they weren't working. And I can go back and show you the text message if you want.
We believe
And
it.
that's all that I said. That's all that I said. And I said, don't kill the messenger. And the next thing I know, she's making me come in here.
there's your lady calling.
Oh. Okay,
So-
well, we'll get checking into it.
We hear you.
Thank
get
you.
it.
I appreciate that. You hear me too, I assume.
Oh, I heard you loud and clear.
Thank you
He
very
heard you.
much.
Sim
And I
heard
heard
you.
you as well.
We all heard you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You wanna answer Stephanie Norman's phone call? Bet you that's her.
Do we? Hello? Are we on here? Hello? This was beeping.
I don't even know how you figured out how to answer that thing.
Oh.
You just hit on.
I hit on.
It'll ring through if she's got the number.
Did we wanna do her again, or do you want?
Well,
do
let's
Lloyd's?
do Connor.
Hey, Connor?
Any seat, doesn't matter.
State your
Can I have
name.
that one?
Yeah, if you want it.
State your name and what you're here for.
I'm Connor Ward. This is Amy Ward. We're here for Northern Waste and Recycling for a business license.
Okay.
We would like to have a business license. We are located in the county. We were in the city, and now we're in the county. And so we want to be legit.
Hey,
Looks like things are going pretty well, Connor. You got quite a few.
Yeah. Things are going well.
I noticed you getting quite a few of your roll-on, roll-offs out there.
Give us a call. Just kidding. Well,
Yeah.
let's get a business license first. We just walked into the county and there's been issues with the land, so we just have had to push it off.
So eventually I plan to build a building there, and
It's gonna be about where you-
everything's money.
We're not planning on it anytime soon though. It's gonna be a while.
So yeah, I just wanna, I just really just store my dumpsters there. You've seen where I put them. You know where I put them? Right on Sweetwater Parkway. Yeah. So I bought the land from Nate Perry. But it's really not like he's waiting to split the lot.
He can't split it for yay amount of years, so we're currently renting it
Oh, I see.
until it's ours.
So yeah, which is,
So it's just up from Sweetwater there.
yeah.
Next to Travis Hobbs.
We're
Yeah.
right next to
Yeah.
Travis Hobbs.
Well, I mean, he's been in business. His Northern Waste and Recycling LLC has been in business, and now it's just a relocation. I
Right.
make a motion that we grant Northern Waste and Recycling their business license within the county.
Second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Wow,
Motion
that's
carries
quick and easy.
unanimously.
So I do have a question about that.
And
I
I have
would-
one thing to say too.
I would like to possibly have like my own transfer station there where I can dump my own trash and then put it, cause a lot of times I'll have loads that are not full. So then I can like separate the metal out and, or like fill the dumpster completely full. I'm wondering about if I would be able to do that.
DEQ would have to be the one that would allow you to do that.
So I need to go through them. So the other possibility is, like, I would like to eventually someday do concrete recycling, like bring concrete in there, crush it, and resell it. So I'd like to be able to do that eventually too, but it's all just big dollar money expensive machinery, so I don't
Yeah.
see that happening anytime soon.
That would be something different than your I guess it would be basically, that would be recycling, so that would fall under your same business license. There may be some things of planning and zoning would wanna,
Okay.
I don't know.
I kind of
how
figured that
work.
that might be, what, a conditional use for that.
Probably.
I kind of thought that, but I'm not doing that now, and I don't
Just
have
wanna
the
know,
money
like,
for that, but
what
yeah.
futurely we can handle.
But yeah, those two things.
Yeah.
I mean, I have people calling me all the time saying, "Oh, well, can I bring this trash to you?" They think I'm the landfill.
Right, yeah.
They think
Daily.
I'm all the
Daily,
time.
we get
They
daily
think I'm the
calls.
landfill, and I'm like, "Well,
Daily.
I can rent you a dumpster, and you can, put it in there, and I can haul it for you." But, and then they all want me to, spend 20 minutes on the phone with them, and, "Well, where's the landfill? How much is it? When they open? What are their hours? All this stuff." And so I'm like, well, if I could have them bring it to me, dump it there, or I dump my own trash there, and then I haul it away for them. I don't know.
That's a
as,
good
as
idea.
as a possibility,
Yeah.
because a lot of people are like, way out there. I gotta drive way out there. And I'm like, it's not that far. But
One of the things you could do to get around that, it would be that, when they bring it out, that they put directly inside of one of your containers, so that you're not physically housing any garbage there on the ground. And
okay.
And we can charge a fee.
That's, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be, yeah.
Build a
It would be-
ramp.
it
You
would-
don't have them just chuck it into your big.
What if
hole.
I had a building that was like kind of like a 3-sided building with the top
Well,
concrete?
and probably something like that.
But they would I still have to get involved with the EQ or something like that?
I don't know, we'd have to contact the EQ, we don't want you to get in trouble.
Oh no, I don't. I don't want to do
And
that.
I don't know, when you physically put it on the ground, I know that kind of changes
Yeah,
the
right.
dynamics of it. That's why I say if you just have one of those roll-on, roll-offs, and you're directly putting it in, it's no different than if that roll-on, roll-off was in their yard. You just charge them, whatever it is, and set your own fee up. But when you're actually putting it on the ground, that kind of changes the dynamics.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
maybe not a huge thing, but don't know.
Just EQs or
Maybe I need to call them and see if there needs to be a barrier or like a whatever on top under the slab or something.
Yeah, you might. I would check with them.
I don't see that happening anytime soon, just because I got to get a fence first, and if as soon as I open that up, then they're just gonna be coming, and I got to have a fence to lock it. So if people want to show up, they're probably already doing that anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
So the dump attributes you for
Yeah, we
their new
appreciate
equipment.
you.
So everything you've done for the dump, like I feel
I'm
like
only 1/3 of the
sometimes
vote, but yeah.
sometimes they're overlooked, and I'm like, this is gonna turn into a big problem if things are not.
Did you guys see the scale going
Yeah,
in?
Yeah.
Connor's been telling about
Yeah,
scale
I've been
for a long
pushing
time.
for that scale for lots of years.
Well, I gotta give Bill
And
credit.
they desperately need new
Yeah, the
equipment.
equipment
Their
they
stuff is
got,
breaking
yeah,
down
they're just-
constantly. They work their butts off, so I'm like, thank
I
you.
just see it because I'm there all the time, but
Yeah, I think I saw you like after hours quite a bit when I was doing that solar up there.
We write it all down. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
they're good folks. I love those
we don't
people
want
up
to get our
there.
key taken away, so we are incredibly
I do love those
nitpicky
guys
on
up
after
there.
hours.
They appreciate you guys.
Okay, do I pay you or who do I pay? Pam?
Okay,
You guys are all
thanks
set.
guys.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you.
Would you give her, I don't know, a copy of your business license?
So is Anneliesa the person that's you?
That's me.
Okay, so I guess I'll maybe get with you later on as to what else I need to do.
I don't think you need to do much. You just take this to Pam, pay for it, and then we'll
Okay.
send it to you. Okay,
Okay,
thank
awesome,
you.
thank you.
Yep.
Thanks. Alrighty.
Sorry, that was an issue's gonna keep calling.
Sounds like we need to shut the door too.
This is Stephanie.
Stephanie, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good. This is Sim. We got the Rich County Commission on here.
Oh, great, thank you.
So we got you on the speaker. If you wouldn't mind stating your name and what your business is and what you're after.
My name is Stephanie Norman. I just started an LLC called Norman Legal Services, and it contracts legal services, litigation work, trial prep work with lawyers
Okay.
in various law firms.
You working out of your home?
Yes. I'm over in Swan Creek in Garden City.
Okay. Trapper Loop.
Yep.
So, Stephanie, this is Commissioner Cox. Just as far as your legal consultant services, you're just coordinating people who need services for legal advice with different attorneys. Is that the nature of your
Yes.
business?
Yep, I am a 1099, I'm basically a 1099 employee for various law firms across the United States, and doing contract work for them.
I see. So you don't provide any of the legal service yourself. You just get them in contact with and do whatever groundwork needs to be done for them to understand the legal
Yep.
issues they need to consult on. Okay.
That's correct,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I'm guessing we just have a few questions. I see, so this is out of your home, but there wouldn't be any more than, it's not like you're gonna have meetings at your home or there would be a parking issue or anything like that, right?
Nope, everything is online, it's 100% remote work. I would not have any consulting in the house with employees, or I won't have any employees, and I won't have any, contractors here with me.
Okay.
If I had to meet with them, I would be traveling to where they are.
Okay.
Any other questions?
We're good.
I would make a motion that we grant, Stephanie Norman a business license a county business license for Norman Legal Services LLC.
Second.
All right. The motion is we grant Stephanie Norman a business license for Norman Legal Services LLC. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
One question I do have on this, Stephanie, you marked the box that you only need the business license less than 6 months. Do you not wanna have that as a 12-month license?
I would love it as a 12-month license, so thank you for catching that.
Okay.
I do these, hi, this is Anneliesa. I do them annually, so we'll pay for the rest of this year, and then you'll get a letter to renew next year. Unfortunately,
Okay,
it's not prorated, I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, I very much appreciate this.
You betcha. I guess you can pay Anneliesa.
Yeah, you can contact my office and ask for Pam. I'll get her your information, and she can take your payment and get you set up with the license.
Wonderful, thank you so much, really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
thanks.
Is that a regular $50 or is that a 25?
It's at home,
In home, so 25?
which we've got to adjust those as well.
Okay, Mitch.
Morning, commissioners. Do you guys like it when I pass this stuff out at the meeting, or do you prefer just to have it electronically and refer back to it?
Can you
I
just put
like
mine in
that.
the garbage? I'm just kidding. That's good.
I like to look at it. Yeah. In fact, I appreciate it.
Can you have them all the same size?
Yeah. I like the big ones better.
I knew I was gonna get him for that.
Are these the ones we're ratifying?
Yes. Okay, we'll start with these. Planning and zoning met, in May to review 3 applications for plat amendments, for Tim Frodsham, Scott Call, and Steve Scott. These are at various subdivisions, in the Garden City area. One's in Sweetwater, one's in Swan Creek. One is two are in Swan Creek. So we'll start with the Tim Frodsham one. This is the amendment of lots 5 and 6 in the LL code Terraces. Planning and zoning reviewed it. There was no input from the public. The engineer has reviewed it and found that it's consistent with our plat amendment process. And their request is they just want to join the 2 lots. They're building a house, and the lot line in the middle is getting in the way of where they want to build. These were also noticed as not just plat amendments, but also utility easement vacations for that center line. At least for Tim Frodsham and Scott Call. The one for Steve Scott is they're just moving the lot line to accommodate infrastructure that they already have on the property. So that if they ever need to in the future, that they can sell one lot or the other.
Okay, so, the 2 in Swan Creek then are easement vacated, we're vacating the easements as well.
That is correct.
Okay. For utilities.
What's that? That's okay.
Okay, and planning and zoning has passed off on these.
That is correct, and so has the engineer.
And we had our public hearing, so everything's good. So I'd make a motion that on the Tim Frodsham, that we grant the amendment of the plat of lots 5 and 6 for Tim Frodsham and the Swan Creek subdivision.
Okay.
Make sure you include the utility easement.
And also the vacation of the utility and vacating the utility easement as well.
Second?
Alright, motion is to combine lots 5 and 6 in the Tim Frodsham property and vacate of the easement. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay. Scott Call, I'll make a motion that we combine, as P and Z has suggested, combine lots 90 and 91 in the Swan Creek subdivision.
And vacate the utility easement.
And also to vacate those utility easements.
On 815.
Yep, 815
Silt.
Buff Silt Court.
Okay, I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion to combine Swan Creek subdivision lots 90 and 91 for Scott Call and vacate the easement. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, Stephen Scott and the Sweetwater subdivision. And he's just making a lot line adjustment, is that what he's doing or not?
That is correct. We're not abandoning the utility easements there.
Okay. So I make a motion that we, grant the plat amendment for lots 80 and 81, in the Serviceberry Drive, Sweetwater Subdivision, for Scott, or Stephen Scott.
Okay, second that.
Okay, motion to combine Sweetwater subdivision lots 80 and 81. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It carries unanimous.
Okay. While I'm on that topic, I had.
So, hang on just 1 second on that.
Yeah.
Are we actually combining those two lots, or are we just adjusting the lot lines?
Just adjusting the lot lines.
Okay, so it's not, we are adjusting the lot lines of 80 and 81, but we are not combining the two lots.
That is correct.
Okay, that needs to be noted. That was my motion.
I think Jonathan specified that in his motion, that was
Okay.
just a lot line adjustment.
Okay,
Okay, while I'm on that topic, I had a conversation with Rocky Mountain Power about the way that we're doing this. And they requested that we make a slight change and that include in our application process that when they come in to do these plat amendments, if they're going to dissolve the utility easement, they would like us to require the Blue State come out and identify specifically where the utilities are and have those recorded as an easement for just on the plat. I think what they're doing is they're trying to retroactively identify the location of all of their physical utilities, and they want that easement identified on the plat and signed off on.
They're probably bumping into people saying, why the heck are you on my property? And like, well, we have some utilities here, and they're like, no, there's no easement.
Right, exactly. So if you guys are okay with that, I'd like to move forward, make some language corrections on our application and our ordinance and take those to planning and zoning.
I think you better.
Okay.
Yeah. So on utility easements, it's not just, we have one power company, but if there were two, either power company could use that utility easement?
Correct.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
so and we're not adding to an expense. Blue Stakes have come out for nothing.
Right.
'Cause I don't wanna do Rocky Mountains work for them for nothing.
Yeah, there might be some expense on the part of the landowner. They're gonna have to pay some additional money for surveying specifically where that infrastructure's at. But again, that's on the applicant that's going through the process.
Yeah, which is a voluntary process.
Right. So if you're okay with that, then I'll move forward on that. Okay, next thing is the Ridge County Alternative Energy Ordinance. The Planning Commission has actually reviewed this a number of times over the last year or two.
Many times.
And they've finally come to consensus on what they would like on paper, what they would like it to look for the county. Overarchingly, the intent here is to manage alternative energy sources, and whether that's wind or solar. Those are both included in this ordinance. We specifically identify what a wind farm is, what a photovoltaic cell is, a solar farm, support structures associated with it. We identify that a conditional use is required for any of these structures. We identify the application process that they have to submit to the Planning Commission and what the contents of that application are. We've done several of these in the past, and they really go over fairly well. What we really wanted to do is identify where they're allowed and where they're not allowed. So that falls under the design standards. Placement of alternative energy facilities will be conditionally allowed in the FR40 zone. Access roads were built to allow all-weather access to emergency service vehicles. Roads will be a minimum of 14 feet wide with a minimum of 6 feet of sub-base and a maximum grade of 10%. Additional standards may apply where conditions warrant greater protection due to water and other natural features to be determined by the county engineer. I think that minimum of 6 feet of sub-base, that's an awful lot. I think that's supposed to be 6 inches.
Yeah.
We just need to clarify that.
I was just gonna say that's just a little light.
Access roads will intersect existing county roads perpendicular to county roads. A reclamation bond is required for the removal of infrastructure, and the applicant will be required at the time the application is submit. I'm actually thinking I may have printed off the wrong ordinance for you guys. Cause we had some language in there that these would not be allowed within X number of feet of an existing residential area.
Yep.
And that is not included in this particular.
It's like a half a mile from a municipality or
Right,
something.
and a couple of miles from the high water mark of Bear Lake. So, be it known that we have reviewed this as a planning commission, you just don't have the right, document in front of you, so we'll just roll that over the next month and get that clarified for you.
So one thing, does this, I was trying to find language that separated the, an alternative energy farm from what, just a personal, off-grid system.
Uh-huh.
Is there any language that has separation?
We don't identify that, no.
Because I would think that I don't know if we wanna stop people from adding panels,
Sure.
To their home.
Right, maybe we wanna be specific about the size of
How much energy does a commercial,
create, or the size, maybe it has to be bigger than, powers more than one individual home.
yeah, my initial thought was like grid tied system is, but many people just do their personal
Sure.
systems, and then Rocky Mountain wants them to grid tie it to help their, but I don't wanna, when I go to build my house or somebody else, I don't wanna have to, jump through all the commercial hoops
Sure.
to add a few panels.
Right. Well, and it would probably apply to solar powered pump stations and
Yeah.
Different agricultural operations. We ought to put an exemption in for that kind of stuff as well.
So I'd gear this just towards commercial energy generation.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, good language. Okay, we'll go back and put something like that in there, and then we'll probably take it back to planning and zoning for a public hearing to review that information, then just make that recommendation to county commissioners again.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
Last thing is, we have a development agreement that needs to be signed. This is for Drew Whitehead. They started they've been going down the road of adding storage units by the Sweetwater Trailer Park, and the development agreement was just part of their conditions. So,
Is that next to the dumpsters, or,
Yeah.
okay, or there's already a storage building?
Have we got a motion to sign this?
You guys have already reviewed it, I guess.
yes, we brought it in before,
We've already had it.
Okay.
and the attorneys reviewed it.
Okay.
I'd make a motion that we approve the development agreement between Drew Whitehead and Ivera Development for their development of storage units.
Okay, second that.
Okay, moving second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Great. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank
So
you.
I guess she just puts this on file.
I will get a copy back to the applicant, and they can come in and record it.
Okay, great.
Okay. All right, thanks, gentlemen, appreciate your help.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Have a
So
good
you-
afternoon.
You must have smoothed that over with the fry.
I'm not sure if I smoothed it over. We are heading in a direction. He did not come through planning and zoning or me at all. I looked back through my emails, and there's no communication. I had a conversation with an attorney last June. I gave him a copy of the plat amendment application, and that was the end of it. So I talked to Jonathan and let him know that he needs to submit the plat and the application and the application materials. I've already forwarded to Bart for review, and so hopefully we'll shuffle it along quickly. So
Apparently it went through the courts and the attorneys and got the plat made, and they thought they were ready to record it, but they didn't have, they missed all the county things that have to be done.
right. So we will, hopefully we can get that on the June agenda. We'll see. For July, I've asked Bart to fast track it if possible.
August, maybe. We're in July.
That's true. But I can make the July planning and zoning meeting at the end of the month.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got you,
Yeah.
I got you.
So,
Thank you.
okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks,
We'll
Mitch.
see you guys later. See you, Anneliesa. See you, Sean. Have a good one.
See you, Mitch.
I review the minutes. I would move we approve the minutes for the June 5th meeting.
Second.
Okay, motion to approve the June 5th commission meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I'd move we approve June's, is this June? June's expenses.
Second.
Moving second that we approve June expenditures. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
So reappointment of the regional commission members, who's up?
I just had an
Ken
email.
Brown.
That's all I've got on it, so I don't know if you're gonna reappoint them or if you're gonna discuss it.
Really, County.
Ken was up but they've been, we're behind. So it has been brought to their attention, and they brought it up in the meeting, Bear Lake Regional Commission meeting, that they move Ken to irrigation to cover the irrigation part, and then we'll find another at-large for the board. Unless you guys have a problem with that, because he's always given them reservoir
Yeah,
updates.
I have no problem with that.
Okay, I move that we reappoint Sim to represent the county commission, and also Ken Brown to represent the irrigation representation on the Bear Lake Regional Commission.
Second.
Okay, moving second that those board members be reappointed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Unanimous.
Wow. We did good. Oh, wait,
Personal property.
yes. I've looked through them. There's not very many, and they're all very clearly,
Looked like they were well documented.
yeah, well documented, extremely exempt. I'll make a motion that we accept the applications for personal property tax exemption as presented by our assessor.
Second.
Okay, moving seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Would you entertain a motion to adjourn?
I would, Sean, do you have anything applicable for us?
Well, I could certainly discuss on the fly if you'd like to, how you'd like me to close out this year's grant for the rural county grant.
Okay,
And
let's,
if you'd like.
we probably won't make a motion.
Yeah, since you didn't advertise for it.
Yeah, you can give us some info.
Sure. Well, good morning, Commissioners. Sean Milne, Bear River Association of Governments, your regional economic development guy. So by way of update, you'd let me know in a previous conversation that in 2025's Rural County Grant, or RCG money, you're contemplating utilizing all or a portion of it anyway towards landfill costs in order to become compliant with some new regulations you guys are expected to meet for the state. And I've done some homework with various parties. While this is a remote opportunity and the median wage may be a little bit too high, there may be a USDA. Now I'm not sure about the right acronym for the federal agency, but anyway, I'm looking into a grant opportunity there. It sounds like you guys may have already explored that through LSI. So I don't know if I'm talking about the same one or not with my conversations with Sherry with GOEO. But anyway, I'm looking into that. Regardless of where that goes, though, as I understand it, through conversations with GOEO, you would likely direct next year's money that way. In order for that money to become available, I need to close out this fiscal year's grant. Well, now technically June 30th last year's. But the normal deadline for opening the report would be a little bit later, and when it's due is several months down the road. But in speaking with Sherry, it would be open earlier for your guys' needs, and normally I'd wait just to capture as many of those expenses that you guys would have had done by the end of the year through the Small Business Grant Program and other ways that we've appropriated some of that money for this year. Short story is there's some unexpended funds from this year that was not dedicated towards the small business grants that Mr. Poulsen oversees through the CEO board. That was intended for a study, but I feel as though, given the gravity of the situation you guys have talked about with landfill, that additional money might be better spent if you guys have earlier bills or need to pay for engineering or feasibility studies, groundwater studies, whatever those are for the landfill. So we're talking about $10,000 off the top of my head. It might actually be a little bit more, but I'm just going to give you a round number of about $10,000 of unexpended funds. And then just want your direction. Again, we can do this at next month's meeting. I'm just looking for a direction from you guys so I make sure that I help you with your needs.
I'm not exactly sure. We obviously have some engineering services that, I don't know. I'm not sure where they're gonna come from, whether they'll come directly through Jones and the Mill or they'll go through, who's our other guy, John?
Brett without an N, yeah, Brett.
Yeah. Brett's been doing some, what we need to do is probably touch base with them and find out, cause we probably could spend that $10,000 on, and that, that would certainly ease some of the burden on the next year's funds as well. So if we've got some that we haven't allocated, this might be the best place to put it for right now, and that would hopefully obligate less for this next go round.
Okay.
Because I don't know exactly where we're at as far as, they haven't given us an update. Maybe they have you, John, but the last I heard that they're just still looking at several things that I know they got to do some geotech work, some soil work, and I know they've already done a site plan of where cells are going to be and that kind of stuff. So municipal waste is going to be directly one place, and demolition waste will be another place, so that there's a separation of those cells, so that there's the monitoring won't have to, hopefully we can get rid of any threat of monitoring on the demolition side. So let me just touch base with Jones and the Mill and find out what costs have been expended now in engineering fees between the two of them and see where we're at.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah, the unexpended funds would, just to be very technical for the record, they're allocated, they're just not yet encumbered with a vendor. So the fact that we haven't gone down that road and the conversations I've had with GOEO, I think we'd be safe since they've approved what your idea is for next year, so.
Okay, but we kind of.
The whole $200,000 was expected to be spent in certain ways, it's just some of it hasn't, and it feels like this is a much more pressing need, and
I mean,
better, anyway, sorry about
do we
that,
need
Commissioner.
to, we need to bring it up to the board where they are expecting it to be rolled over?
Well, this particular is, oh, no, that's not true. Okay, I was gonna say it's outside of the board, but that's not true, because the whole pot of money from the RCG should be through the board. I was just thinking in terms of the small business grant, since they're so hands-on on that. So technically, yes, but let me do some more homework on my end, just to make sure that we're compliant with what we
Because the
need.
board is,
Advisory to you guys are the final say so.
yeah, but they're thinking that the money's to be rolled over rather than be used, so we need to make sure.
These could be two different pots though, too, Commissioner. It could be that the money not utilized that was set towards and encumbered towards the small business grant specifically. I'm talking about some that's completely outside
Oh,
of that.
okay, sorry.
No, that's okay,
Because
because
there is
that
about
could-
that much that's unused in the,
Yeah, and that could still roll over, although you guys, again, are still the deciding factor. You
Right.
could raid that kitty if you needed to.
right,
Again, for the purposes that you've already discussed this with GoYo, so.
okay,
But I was discussing something that was related to an economic development study,
oh, okay.
and particularly towards housing on the lake side of the county. So I don't know that that's more important than you solving your landfill situation more immediately. So
Okay,
There's a couple of grants through the USDA that we could access, but they're project grants.
they're after the engineering and study.
Right.
Yes,
right, they're
that much I've
actual-
gotten confirmation
yeah.
of. The one I'm talking about is the only one that USDA has for planning and engineering purposes. But what I've asked them to review is if they can revisit their modeling that shows the average or the median household income of Rich County is a smidgen too high. And
Yeah.
they specifically asked me, is this landfill for the entire county or only a portion of it? And I said, well, I believe it's for the whole thing, but I'm not sure, let me check. And that was me trying to buy some more time and also ask you, is your intention for the whole county? Or are you thinking that this might be a landfill that would only serve the south part? And then the other part could go towards, I don't know, maybe Idaho in a combined fashion with a landfill they have up there, and then maybe that looks at the median income differently, and we can use that. Anyway, I'm not trying to steer this too much. I just want to make sure that you understand there are some ifs, ands, or buts to some of the conversations I've had with them.
It's gonna be an entire county landfill. Idaho at one time was interested in actually bringing some of theirs to ours.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they'd want to go that extra distance, but I
Well,
could see the lakeside maybe going north.
I mean, it's like Star Valley in Jackson comes to Kemmer,
Hmm.
and they bail it.
Well, and we got on this topic, and when I say we, I mean in the royal sense. Commissioner Weston and I, with the CEO board members, were kind of talking about it at the end of the last virtual one that was held, and I proposed, the what if, just throwing mud at a wall of, does perhaps Wyoming have a lesser regulatory environment, and it's just less expensive for you as a county to ship it elsewhere, and are they willing to do it to keep their volume up, right? I mean, because as you're about to find out, weigh stations and transfer stations are very, very expensive. They're very expensive to maintain, particularly in the winter when they can freeze up and such. And if they can make it more worth their while by sending your tonnage to there and you not having to worry about administering it. Anyway, just sounds like you guys already explored.
and I
those.
mentioned to Sean that before I came in, you guys had, I think, looked at, when you were building this one out here, looked at going to Kemmer with garbage and stuff, and
Kemmer and actually Evanston as well.
but I didn't know anything about it, 'cause
Well, anyways, Commissioner, there's just an update. I can continue looking into that, and
Okay.
if Commissioner Cox, you do the same on your end, we can redirect some of those funds so that the cash is more immediately available for your needs.
We need to look at that.
Okay, all right, thanks guys.
Great.
Thank you.
That, I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
Move second adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is very